Welcome back to House TV Live. I'm Rick Spence, and with me today is John McClain with John McClain Design in beautiful Los Angeles, with also offices in Florida. John, this is a special treat. You're going to show us your personal bungalow, modern. What are you calling this?
I'm calling it my modern loft bungalow because it has aspects of a bungalow and aspects of a modern townhome as well. So I just kind of combined all of that together and made my own style. And here we are.
Give me a feel. So how many levels are there to this home?
Well, my legs say there are too many. I don't have to do leg day at the gym anymore, if that tells you anything. There are, if you count the loft, there's 4. First level is garage and an entry, and then my actual office. Second level is the bedroom. So there are 2 bedrooms there, the main bedroom, and then a guest bedroom, which also function as my husband's office. And then you move up to the living area, which is the kitchen, living room, and the powder room. And then you move up to the loft, which if you make it to the loft, you deserve a cocktail in this house.
It has so many great elements to it. So give me a general overview of your choices in materials throughout the main living space.
Yeah, so the living room, as soon as I walked into this home, and by the way, this was a builder grade home. It was so bad when I bought it. It was literally white walls, nothing interesting. I was walking through with the superintendent and he was like, "Don't you love this kitchen?" And I was like, "Dude, you're wasting your time. I'm ripping it out."
Yeah, you have no idea what I'm about to do to this place.
No clue. But the first thing in the living room that I really wanted was this fireplace. And the fireplace was not pre-existing. So I designed the space, honestly, around this focal point of the room. And I wanted the fireplace to be that point that tied the lower level with the upper level. And I designed it in this lots of different patterns, lots of different textures. So it actually has leather mixed with stone on the fireplace. And the fireplace itself, it's actually water vapor. So we ran.
How cool is that?
We ran a line. I know, it's crazy, right? I saw this at a home show and I was like, okay, I have to have this. And so I ran a water line when we were in construction over it. So it has a permanent water line installed, and you just take your little remote control, turn on the mist, and it looks like real fire coming out. And then I added the selenite logs in there to give it a little zhuzh after it was done. So it was really important that every space was tied into the space adjacent to it. And so the living room, of course, is where you spend most of your time. So I designed this custom sofa. It's very modular, and it has the softness of the pleating on the back. And then to kind of join that together, I designed the coffee table. You can pull the components apart or push it together to make one unit. Nothing is precious in this house. Everything is livable. Everything is usable. I'm sitting in the loft now. I'm on a leather sofa, so anything that spills is fine. So I really wanted to make sure that we had a home that we could actually use, which is really important for me and my clients.
Walk me through some of your surface choices.
Yeah, it's funny. All of the stone, and I call it stone because that's what it looks like, but there is no natural stone in my home except for in the main bathroom. The living spaces are all porcelain slabs. So these are oversized porcelain slabs that I wanted to start experimenting with. They're relatively new in the market, in the home industry. And so I wanted to kind of be the guinea pig, if you would, for some of my clients. So the fireplace is thin porcelain slabs, different patterns. Also, the kitchen is also porcelain slabs, and it's very realistic. And even though it's man-made porcelain, the veining is so beautiful. And everybody thinks that it's actually real marble, but it's not. All of the cabinetry was new, all of the backsplash, countertops, lighting. I used that opportunity as a way to expand the kitchen. So I added 16 inches to the kitchen size. So now it was actually a little bit larger than it was when we bought it. So instead of kind of trying to squeeze 2 people in there, I can squeeze about 3 or 4 in there now, which is fun. And you'll see, I don't know if you saw, Rick, but on the end of the peninsula, there is my piece de resistance. I was sort of over the traditional waterfall edges that everybody's using. So I did this peninsula, did it angularly, and then continued the material down from the countertop at this beautiful angle. And behind it, of course, I had a little bit of brass to amp it up a bit.
Yeah, I love that. That's a really nice touch. It's one of the first things I noticed when I was looking at the space. I was going to ask you about that. Love that. And that's a John McClain original. Maybe that's going to become a thing, right?
Who knows?
Love that. And the lighting's a little bit different, too. You have like a bunch of little squares, like little stars in the ceiling here. Tell me about the lights.
Yeah, I'm kind of done with recess cans in a kitchen. Like, I mean, they're fine, but they're also just, I wanted to play up on that aspect. So instead of doing multiple recess lighting, I did these little beautiful brass accents on the ceiling that add just a bit of jewelry to the space. And they're strategically spaced so that they're all spaced out correctly in the room. But when you're looking at it from a distance, especially, it just gives that little bit of jewelry to the space. It also mimics, you'll notice, the pulls, which are very modern, the contemporary pulls I put on the cabinetry. And then on the very bottom of the cabinetry, there's a brass toe kick that I added as well to really amp up. And there's lighting under there too, of course.
I love the light. It's like a little constellation of stars in the distance. And I assume it's completely dim. Is it RGB? Can you change the color tone of it as well?
I can't change the color, but
Yeah.
every single light in my home is dimmable because God knows we all look better under dim lighting.
Let's go up to the loft. You're up there right now. Walk me through
Dolly
this.
and I are.
Yeah. That's actually a great piece of art too. Love that. It's so inviting because when you're in that living space, you're like, oh, what's up there? You're kind of drawn to go up there.
Yeah, I wanted it to be as you're in the living room, you're looking up, you're like, what is that? And I wanted it to bring you up to that area. And so I did reds and burgundies and ambers and grays. And I really wanted it to be this cozy little nook that enveloped you. And so I draped this entire wall is draped with fabric, and it's just a regular wall, but I really wanted it to have texture and interest and almost like a 3D effect to it. There's a door behind it that leads out to the loft patio, but when I close it, it just is, it kind of, again, it envelops you and feels very cozy. I designed for instance, the rug, the area rug in the loft is this custom hide rug that I specifically chose every color. That became the jumping off point for the entire space. And so all the reds and the burgundies and the golds and the grays and the browns, that sort of kind of ties all of that together. But when you have something so patterned like the area rug and the drapery, you really need large, substantial pieces of solid colors to break that up, which is what I did with the red leather sofa, the black chairs, and the kind of gray coffee table. So all those mass pieces really break your eye up from being overwhelmed by the pattern in the room.
You design a lot of your own stuff. You've got a lot of that. You also buy off the shelf. You've got your suppliers, all that. Where does Houzz fit in your mix?
Oh my gosh. Well, I can honestly tell you, as I look around, there's no space in my entire home that does not have a Houzz product in it. And that is the God's honest truth. It became my go-to for making the spaces feel complete. So it could be like the coffee table, for instance, the sofa I'm sitting on. All of these things were so beneficial to me from choosing from Houzz because I didn't have to go to 20 different sources. I just went to one website and found a lot of the stuff that I needed. So even down to the accessories, honestly, there are things that I discovered as I was shopping around that I didn't even know that Houzz sold. So it opened my eyes up to that as well, because there really is everything on that website. So yeah, this is the house that Houzz built, you could say.
So let's keep going on here. Let's jump into another space. About the bedroom.
The main bedroom was very important. The first thing I chose was the wall covering. I walked into the showroom and I was like, okay, this has to go home with me. And it's actually mica. So it's real mica stone that they have colored and put onto this beautiful kind of abstract pattern onto the background. I did the focal wall and this dramatic wall covering, but the rest of the walls are actually wall covering as well. And it's a vinyl grass cloth, so it's wipeable, usable. So I added more texture from the other three walls, but kept the focus on that main wall. This home comes from a lot of my inspirations from travels. And this bed I designed based on my love for Stonehenge in England. So simplistically genius. And it never left my brain. And then as I was coming up with the design for the bed, I knew I wanted all these larger segments just sort of pushed up against the other segment to make a very simplistic but kind of cool design, I think.
Beautiful bedroom, and it's attached to an equally beautiful bathroom. Walk me through this awesome bathroom.
I was in Pompeii in Italy, and I saw all these beautiful baths that they used to have, these marble baths, so lush and rich. So I wanted to bring the marble in. On a different trip, I was in Harrods in London at the department store, and they have a food hall on the lower level. And there was all these turned legs and beautiful brass. So I combined Pompeii and Herod's, this beautiful Italian marble that I brought in. And then we sort of juxtaposed that with the black cabinetry, floor to ceiling. And then I added those big, fat, chunky turned legs that really just ground the whole space. I inlaid sort of a rug look with the marble, and I did a brass outline around it to give the effect of an area rug in the bathroom. I found the lights on house. I wanted really large linear lights. There's this traditional look of the marble, but the mirror and the lighting is very modern. So when I found this finish on the lighting, which is actually an antique brass, I replicated that with the faucets, and then also the legs are wood. And then I had them painted to match the Newport brass faucets that I used in the space.
Tell me about the plumbing fixtures and sort of the lighting and what you did in there.
Yeah, so the shower is amazing. I literally use this thing every day. It's from Thermosol. It is a steam shower. It has chromotherapy. It has aromatherapy. It has wall jets. It has a TV. The fixture itself is also brass on the top, but I accented it with black. So the bathroom is this mix of black and brass as far as the accent pieces. And I'll tell you, so many times, Rick, people are scared to mix different finishes in a room. But by using something so simple as the matte black with the antique brass, they work perfectly together.
Love that. So the office space, this looks like this could also double as a bedroom. Someone could crash on the couch. I don't know if that's a pull out or not.
Yeah, so this is actually my husband's office and our guest room. So the multifunctional aspect was crucial. This home only has 3 bedrooms. Somebody could crash in the loft if they really wanted to, but not, it's not specifically a bedroom. This space, I needed to break the eye up from all the color in the rest of the home. So this is my ode to neutrality in this room. And it is blacks and creams and whites and browns and of course some brass. And it is super, super multifunctional. The sofa, it's a sofa bed from House, an apartment 2B. And actually it's so beautiful on its own. Honestly, it feels very Art Deco to me, which I love, but it pulls out. And we had our first guest 3 weeks ago. And I was the next morning, I was like, how was it? Oh my God, it was amazing. It was so comfortable. So I'm like, good, mission accomplished. But yes, the angular lines are in that room with the wall covering on the back wall. And then I reflected that over with my drapery on the wall behind the sofa as well. This beautiful black desk with a caning on the front of it is also so nice. And again, the color pattern is so simple in this room. But it works, and it works in a very easy way that doesn't feel forced.
In the end, the continuity of the entire space just feels so right. So congratulations on that. Always amazed by your work.
Thank you. This is a passion project for me, of course. It's my own home, but again, it's also a show home of sorts to clients. And I couldn't be happier with the way it turned out. And again, the takeaway is listen to your heart. Take risks, don't do the status quo, listen to what you want to do, and that is how you should design your homes. Designers will help you find that, of course, but it all should come from your head and your heart as well.
Thanks so much. We'll be in touch, and I look forward to seeing more of your projects.
Thank you so much, Rick. Such a blast.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.